Ice Cube has finally elucidated the actual underlying cause for his exclusion from the Hollywood film industry. He insists that the individuals who control access to the industry exploited his non-vaccinated status as an excuse to disassociate him from the projects he was part of. In a recent episode of Joe Rogan's podcast, Ice Cube disclosed how he turned down a role in a film that could have earned him $9 million, all because he had not received a vaccination. Throughout this interview, he underscored the fact that prominent Hollywood production companies now insist on vaccination as a compulsory condition for their actors. He had a substantial financial proposition for a role, but he opted against proceeding with this vaccination process. Ice Cube made allegations that out of the blue, every Hollywood producer began to stipulate that anyone who had not received the vaccine, including both actors and studio employees, would be prohibited from working. He deduced that this must have been a directive issued by the studios, considering that producers have varying perspectives. Regardless of their personal beliefs, some of these producers communicated this new requirement to Ice Cube and his team, informing him that his participation in the films would be forbidden unless he got vaccinated. Despite his non-vaccinated status, Ice Cube wasn't bothered by the resulting scarcity of work opportunities. What caught him off guard, however, was the sudden appearance of news articles detailing his absence from the big screen. He articulated, "I never made this situation public. I neither announced my vaccination status nor discouraged others from getting vaccinated. I also never linked my departure from the film to my choice of remaining non-vaccinated, but somehow the news got around. Maybe the Hollywood Reporter or some other media outlet exposed the story." He thought it was peculiar that despite the existence of HIPAA laws that protect medical privacy, his vaccination status had been revealed and marketed as news. He conjectured that someone within Hollywood must have tipped off the press, as neither he nor his team had revealed this information. The Hollywood Reporter, along with other major news sources, revealed Ice Cube's non-vaccinated status and the subsequent forfeiture of his movie role, making it public information. Ice Cube accused these outlets of disclosing his confidential medical records without his permission. Stories circulated about his withdrawal from Sony's forthcoming comedy film, Oh Hell No, where he was slated to share the screen with Jack Black due to a vaccine mandate from the production team. With the delay in production start because of an injury Black suffered during Conan's final episode filming and Ice Cube's exit, the studio found itself in a predicament searching for a replacement. Even though Ice Cube refused to get vaccinated, he has been proactive in advocating for safety measures related to the pandemic. An Oklahoma college acknowledged his donation of 2,000 face masks as personal protective equipment, PPE. Amid the COVID-19 lockdowns in April 2020, he launched a line of t-shirts branded "Check Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself," showcasing an image of him wearing a mask. The revenue from these sales was channeled towards supporting frontline healthcare workers. Ice Cube mentioned that all attempts to persuade him into getting vaccinated had been ineffective. "They attempted to reveal my personal matters, exert pressure on me. My peers telling me how unreasonable I was being, trying to convince me to get vaccinated so I could be a part of the film. Regardless of the price, even $20 million, it was never going to happen." The podcast host, Joe Rogan, voiced his complete support for Ice Cube's stance, suggesting that health cannot be bartered for wealth and raising questions about the issue of mandatory vaccinations. On a previous installment of the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, Ice Cube confirmed that his refusal to get the COVID-19 vaccine resulted in him losing a $9 million acting role. He announced, "I declined a movie because I did not want to comply with the vaccination, thereby corroborating the reports that were in circulation." He also voiced his displeasure over the mounting pressure he was facing to get vaccinated, asserting, "I turned down a $9 million proposal. I didn't want the jab. It's unfair to pressurize me into getting it. I'm unsure about my status in Hollywood now." When one of the podcast hosts suggested that Ice Cube could shift from Hollywood to streaming platforms, he retorted, "That's what Hollywood believes. They have their own agenda, but I have my strategies as well." When asked about the possibility of leaving Hollywood to venture into independent productions, Ice Cube indicated that he had several projects in progress. He confirmed that he was contemplating this route and was actively working towards it. During a previous segment of Hotboxing with Mike Tyson, Ice Cube engaged in a comprehensive discussion with Mike Tyson, spanning a multitude of subjects, including his Hollywood ban. When Tyson's co-host, Matt Barnes, asked about Ice Cube's upcoming film endeavors, the rapper responded, "I'm perpetually working on something, At this moment, I didn't get vaccinated, so. Earlier, Ice Cube had also appeared on Mike Tyson's Hotboxing with Mike Tyson podcast. In the course of the episode, They touched upon numerous themes, one being his Hollywood ban. Ice Cube noted, "For a while, Hollywood decided not to collaborate with me due to that, his vaccination status." In the podcast, Ice Cube shed light on his respect for Tyson, regarding him as nothing short of a superhero. He also delved into his joint venture, Mount Westmore, with other hip-hop legends such as Snoop Dogg, Too Short, and E40. Ice Cube shared his future aspirations with Tyson, taking a critical view of Hollywood's hesitation to work with him due to his vaccination status. He added optimistically, "Maybe they'll regain their sense of reason. In the meantime, we're concurrently working on a multitude of independent projects." While Ice Cube elaborated on his feelings of being marginalized and restricted by Hollywood, he also published a video conveying that he wasn't a member of the privileged Hollywood elite club, which was much to the chagrin of the industry. He narrated the challenges he had encountered due to this ostracism and his choice to remain independent. Ice Cube embarked on a detailed discourse about his alienation from the elites and gatekeepers of the entertainment and sports sectors. He underscored his deliberate decision to maintain his independence, which he believes vexes insiders because he defies the customary path. Ice Cube was of the belief that certain factions were hindering his work due to his stance and his refusal to align himself with the mainstream Hollywood circle. Nevertheless, he affirmed that he was resolute in overcoming any obstacles that came his way. Ice Cube also talked about the Big Three Basketball League, a venture he co-founded with entertainment executive Jeff Kwatnitz. He voiced his belief that the league was not getting the deserved attention from mainstream media, attributing this oversight to his status in Hollywood. He further theorized that his contract with Black America, which calls for the NFL to funnel more business to black enterprises across various sectors, could be another reason for his basketball league's dismissal. Mapping out an extensive tour of podcast appearances to discuss these matters, Ice Cube expressed his dissatisfaction with the individuals who hold power and have been disregarding his Big Three Basketball League, particularly since he presented his contract with Black America prior to the 2020 presidential election. In the past, Ice Cube had advocated for Hollywood studios to initiate a sort of reparations mechanism to address the long-standing injustice suffered by black artists in the entertainment business. In response to police violence in the U.S. and an attempt to combat systemic racism on a wider scale, Ice Cube drafted a document named A Contract with Black America. During a conversation on The Breakfast Club, Ice Cube elaborated on numerous points covered in the contract. When host Angela Yee raised the topic of representation in Hollywood, he communicated his conviction that the black community has been done a great disservice by Hollywood over the years. He proposed that studios eager to amend this should fund black-led studios, thereby empowering them to tell their stories without any intrusion from the conventional Hollywood system. Unquestionably, Ice Cube's choices have been bold, and he has already declared that his contract with Black America has adversely impacted his career and the Big Three Basketball League. When outlining the specifics of the composed contract, he argued that Hollywood studios have perpetuated the distortion and exploitation of black narratives and their history for over 100 years, often attributing it to white characters instead of transferring these rights to black individuals themselves. Ice Cube suggested that these renowned studios should financially back a studio solely managed by black individuals. This entity would be devoid of external interference, and all creative works would be owned by the black artists, directors, writers, and the team responsible for bringing the projects to life. He also proposed a regular financial contribution to the studio as reparation for the damage inflicted on the black community over the years. Ice Cube underscored that his proposal was not seeking to create a divide in the entertainment industry. He envisioned black artists continuing to work with major studios like MGM, Warner Brothers, and Universal. He pointed out that many of his peers had projects they couldn't progress because certain white individuals failed to grasp their creative vision. He believed a dedicated space for black creatives would be advantageous. Furthermore, Ice Cube emphasized that Hollywood owes a debt for the harm it has caused to black people, arguing that negative media portrayal has fed into police brutality. He suggested that the manner in which law enforcement handles black people is behavior learned from TV shows like NYPD Blue. Ice Cube's directness, his refusal to be part of Hollywood, and his decision not to get vaccinated could be among the numerous reasons for his purported exclusion from Hollywood projects. One fan observed, "All companies and hospitals that fired people due to the unlawful COVID vaccine mandates, and those who were injured by said mandate, should take them to court." Ice Cube banned from Hollywood for not getting vaxxed, followed by another comment, "What's the story with Ice Cube saga?" So, what are your thoughts on Hollywood's alleged gatekeeping of Ice Cube? Could it be because he refuses to fit in, or is there a deeper secret they're endeavoring to conceal? Share your views in the comment section. Please remember that the content of this video is based on theories and personal views and should not be interpreted as factual information.